Hi guys, Joe Protocol here once again, back for another production tip video. It's been some time since my last one, but I'm back to talk about what I think you'll find an interesting topic in production, which is why and where you should be using saturation over boosting with an EQ in your drum and bass production. Now, before I get into that, I'd like to ask you to hit the like button, leave a comment if you find something interesting in the video, because it really does help YouTube push the video to a new audience. So, why saturation over EQ? First of all, let's have a think about what saturation actually is. Saturation is distortion, essentially. Distortion caused by driving a signal into circuitry above what it's expected to handle. So if you drive a signal into like a physical tube amp, you push the voltage above what it can handle and you get saturation. Now audio plugins, digital audio plugins will essentially replicate this in the digital realm, but essentially it's the same effect. So when you drive a signal into or beyond what the system can handle, you create clipping, and this clipping brings out additional harmonics from the sound. Now, why is this an interesting alternative to boosting with a traditional EQ? Well, because an EQ will take a signal and just turn it up. So if you want to boost, let's say, somewhere between the 1000 to 6000 kilohertz range, you increase the signal with an EQ. With a saturator, you kind of clip the signal and create the harmonics. So you get this boosted and enhancement effect, but without any additional level, which is what makes it interesting for the mix, because the mix is a delicate balance between lots of things at different levels. So if you saturate, you get the effect of boost, but without this additional level which you'd get from an EQ. And this is what makes it interesting. And also I just think it sounds better. I mean, you get like a warmer sound, you get a thicker sound. And we are digital producers. Well, I'm certainly a digital producer, trying to make the sound which you would hear from older analog gear. So using this as a boost really gives just a thicker, warmer sound throughout the whole mix. So I'm going to show you how I do this with a snare. So I'm currently in Logic right now, because when I was working on this particular drum, I was working in the mix. I do use both programs, although most of my videos have been focused around Ableton. I mostly use Ableton as a creative software and Logic more as a mixing software. I think that's just because I prefer the layout of the mixer, and I've mixed so many things in Logic, so I'm just used to it. I know how the layout works with how it sounds. So yeah, here I have a drum beat. Focusing on the snare, I want to get the snare jumping out of the speakers a little bit more, and to do that I want to enhance it. So first of all, I want to show you, I have an instance here of Fab Filter Pro Q2. I've got a boost 3000 Hertz, 3300 Hertz, with quite a wide quality range. So let's hear how that sounds. First of all, check how it affects the signal, because that's kind of one of the main things I wanted to show you. So we've got this snare peaking at minus 7.5 at the moment, and let's introduce the Fab Filter Pro Q. So we've got quite a notable change of the level there. The boost sounds quite nice. It's kind of adding what I expected to do, but we've got this additional level here. Let's see what I've set up here. I've got the Ozone 9 exciter. I've got a boost in the similar range, 3100. It's not, between 1300 and 10,000, which is kind of what I had with the Pro Q. Now let's listen to the result. So once again, I'll reset the value there. So as you hear, we've got the similar boost, but you notice there is an effect on the level, although a notably much smaller one. I mean, these plugins are not 100% perfect. I mean, I'm not a developer, but working a little bit with developers in my previous job, I know that they're just not perfect. But you can see it's not boosting anywhere near as much as it was with the Pro Q, and it just sounds better. Let's hear that again. Now with the ozone. Now, I guess you're probably thinking, yeah, there is a makeup gain on the Fab filter. Why don't you just turn it down? You're right, you will get a similar effect. You will get that kind of cancelling out of the level. Which is what you should do with everything, by the way. But bear in mind, it does just sound better. This addition of the additional harmonics just gives the sound a much thicker sound, because we can, or certainly I want to make the sound of, or certainly have my sound inspired by older analog warmth. I would suggest using the saturation instead. Now, that was quite a quick tip today, but I hope I got the point across to you that you should basically use this across all channels where you want to apply EQ boosts, because it sounds better and doesn't affect your overall level so much. So yeah, that's it for the tip today. I hope you found it informative. Leave me a comment and I'll see you in the next video.